what happens. I don't know. So, but this whole White House thing really I mean, Lala's there. I guess what, at the last minute, they said, hey, Ariana, Lisa's not your +1, bring a +1. She looked great in Zach Posen. I mean, it's just, I still like and what is the professor doing there? I mean, I know she's a political commentator. I guess that's why she lives in it. What is the professor? Your good
She's
friend.
like in the Beltway, anybody in the news, like all my friends have, I still contribute at Fox 5 DC from LA. Like I do a news show with them every week. All of my Fox 5 friends, I mean, it's a journalist party. They call it the nerd party. I mean, it's or the nerd prom. It's all the journalists in and out of the Beltway. Well, she's, been a long time
Beltway
professor and then also, news contributor. So if you're associated with a news outlet, you basically can go. They can buy a table, you can buy a ticket, you get invited from your other news friends. So
darling, I am a Wall Street Journal subject and I am a BBC commentator. Did you watch me on the BBC?
Be like a CNN, you got to be like a Channel 9 DC employee or something, like a full-time
Why wasn't Rick, why wasn't darling? The Wall Street Journal has contacted me. I am the leading expert.
You're not a journalist.
I am an entertainment journalist, Sarah. Please, did you listen to the BBC introducer?
I did. You actually were very, very, very good on that.
That was in the middle of the night. I had to wake up. Literally, I had to wake up at midnight and get into the Zoom room. The BBC is no joke when they call. They're like, this is how it's. And by the way, you get like an hour notice. Like, hey, do you want to be on the BBC to talk about your interviews with Jerry Springer? You're not going to say no.
Okay, well, let's talk about these two things. One, because you had a big week. One, you were in the Wall Street Journal.
Darling.
For Ozempic. They did a whole thing basically on you admitting, you did Ozempic.
You and me fight about it, but the Wall Street Journal is watching our videos, girl. That's how they saw me. They said, you're like the leading commentator on Housewives at Ozempic. Do you want to talk to us? I'm like, I have nothing to hide. Sure. Everyone's saying Erica was on it from our pictures. I'm like, I don't know about her, but I am.
They're on it. So many podcasts, so many fellow top podcasters are on it too. It's so sad. They're all like, they won't admit it. And, they're pretending that they're working out. And it's like, oh, come on, ladies. Coincidentally, all these podcasters that were just normal weight or like all the rest of us that struggled with 40 pounds now are suddenly skinny and they're claiming they're working out. No, they're on Mounjaro or we'll go.
If you listen to my quote, if you listen to my quote in the Wall Street Journal, I said, I think it sends a very bad message because no one's admitting it. And then the average person that's dieting, that's 50 something. I'm sorry, in your 50s, it's harder to lose weight. In your 40s, it's harder to lose weight. The average person who's dieting and trying so hard and is so discouraged because they're eating lettuce all day and drinking water and are so weak from their diet, they're ready to drop to the ground. And they're like, what's wrong with me? Why can so-and-so lose weight and I can't? Well, Margaret Joseph, just stop your bullshit talk about peptides. You're on Mounjaro or semaglutide or any of the other fucking options.
Wait, I thought she admitted it. She never admitted it?
She says she's on peptides and some bullshit hormone therapy. Girl, peptides is semaglutide. Like, don't try to pull one over on the fucking human being people of the world. What was I gonna say? Why was Rick and Kelly not at the White House? Isn't he?
He doesn't work for Fox anymore.
I know, but isn't he still?
He's out as a journalist.
Oh, I thought we could. I thought once you're in, even if you're fired, you still get grandfathered in.
No, not usually. Usually you're like invited because the news outlet that you're associated with like buys a table or and it's a correspondence. I actually think too, you might have to be a member of the, I don't know, Associated Press or one of those. You know what I mean? I think there's like a journalist group. You might even have to be a member.
Ariana's invited what? Just because she's been the subject of such news? I mean, I'm not even trying to come for her. It's such a topic that we have to, wow. I mean, obviously you can't invite Ariana without LVP. That I understand. You have to invite LVP. She's the producer. And then I guess at the last minute, they said +1 and it's Lala. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it baffles me. I'm not really interested in going to the White House at the current state of affairs here in the United States of America. We'll just leave it at that because we're not a political show. So I'm not upset that I
Yeah.
wasn't there because I don't want to attend the White House anytime fucking soon with this bullshit that's going on. But good for Ariana for being there. See, I could be a little feisty too, girl. Could we talk about
Wait. But let's just give
no,
one more context for our fans. Give one more context for our fans. No, Jerry Springer passed away. Huge. I mean, you know, what insight do you have? Because the BBC, you have one of the final interviews with him, which aired in November of 2022. I don't think I realized that Jerry had cancer. I'm reading that Jerry Springer was diagnosed with cancer sometime last year, was being treated, but in the past month or so, things just really went south. He was 79 years old. Okay, give us what inside info do you have? He was a legend.
I mean, my understanding, like, well, first of all, it's pancreatic cancer, and there's no survival of pancreatic cancer. So there's PanCan. There's a great organization, people, you know, that have had loss in their family from pancreatic cancer. You can look up PanCan but it is one of the cancers that, you know, and this is why bring on the hate us. I don't care. No one realizes I have no cares in the world. You said before we went on air that I'm living my best life. I am living my best life. I am loving my life. The day that I wake up and I go to the doctor and they're like, you have pancreatic cancer or you have another type of cancer, all of this is going to get serious. Right now, hate. Trans rights. I love trans rights. That's correct. Hate me. I take Ozempic. That's right. Hate me. Guess what? I love Erica Jade. Hate me. I don't care. We have no problems, people, in the world. But let's get back and stay on schedule. I said I wasn't going to get riled up today. Come in the Hamptons, girl. It's relaxing. So pancreatic cancer is, so I don't think Jerry had cancer for like months and months and months and months. I think it really came out of nowhere. And listen, I know people that have lived for about a year. I think a year is probably the most you get with pancreatic cancer, but I think Jerry's was rapid. And I mean, pancreatic, there's no survival.
No, I know. My husband's father died of it. It's so sad.
It's a bad one. You should look into PanCan. You should look into PanCan. It's a great organization.
They'll make a break money someday.
I mean, I hope so, because the big C is no joke, guys.
Especially like you said, that one. Yeah.
Can we talk about RHOC and RHOA trailers?
Oh, yes. Where do you want to begin? I've watched both yesterday when I was in the Atlanta airport.
I was just on the podcast of the one, the only Carlos King. And this came up, and I'm like, let me tell you, love. Okay, before I give my opinion, what do you think of the RHOC trailer? Let's start there. What do you think of the RHOC?
So stupid. You know, and like, I always feel like if they have to use imagery of the 1950s or imagery of the 80s, or if they